Welcome back to the Journalistic Revolution for part 7. And folks, I'll be giving you kind of a small little economics lesson. I'm not Peter Schiff, I'm not Tom Woods. I'm just a guy who's happened to take a couple classes, but to me economics is key, and I love economics. It's one of my favorite subjects. Now, to be clear, Robert and
I'm against taxes.
We are.
Damn near all of them. Is just, you know, the argument that we're getting ready to make is just a counter argument to the whole tax the rich more argument. Our real argument is don't tax anybody, and then we all have more money.
But the argument does exist, because the reality is we do pay taxes.
Correct.
And until things do change in our favor, the reality is when you want to make the claim that the rich need to be taxed more to pay their fair share. Well, first off, most times when they have low taxes,
first off, I want to show you this number, this statistic of exactly how much in income tax that the rich pay.
Whoosh. Now, what most people don't realize, though, is that these large corporations and rich people in general pay also payroll, corporate taxes, workman's comp taxes, and sales tax. Now, also, a lot of these companies pay for half of people's insurance, sometimes even more or a little bit less. That could be almost considered a tax or part of your salary.
Also, working as a manager in small businesses, I can tell you from personal experience, if I'm paying you, say, $8.50 an hour, I'm actually paying about $17 an hour to even have you on the payroll.
And that's the point we're trying to make, is the rich are rich for a reason, okay? They're smart. And they're going to continue to be rich, even if you raise their taxes. Because guess what? Let's just bring a round number. Say someone brings home $100,000 a year. Now, that's your typical small business, maybe even $250,000, but we're just going to use $100,000 as a pure example. Now, what happens if either business gets slow or you raise their taxes? Do you think that they're going to sacrifice any of their payroll and any of their take-home? No, they're not. They have a budget. They have house to pay for, whether it's a big house or a small house. If you can disagree with their style of living all you want, but I guarantee you, if you made that kind of money, you'd probably live that way also. Not everybody. Everybody has their different opinion on that. But here's what happens. One, and I'm going to take this strictly from a raised taxes point of view. But you do realize that both of these things happen whether you raise taxes or business gets slow. One, they're going to raise their prices. Yes, folks. They have the ability to manipulate the prices of the products they sell because it's their products. So, yeah, they're going to continue to get the same bottom line just by raising prices. And guess who still has to pay those prices? You do.
Yeah, so you end up paying the tax for them.
Yeah.
Especially with corporations. It's a hidden tax on you. When the EPA says, well, we need to tax these companies more because, you know, of this damage to the environment or whatever excuse they come up with, all they do is they raise the prices of their products, and then therefore you end up paying the taxes for them, even if it's on the pennies.
The next thing that they do is they do hiring freezes. Well, Tommy here needs a job. But Tommy can't get a job because we're taxing them more. Now, is Tommy going to see those taxes put into his bank account from the government?
No, he probably makes too much, so he's not going to get food stamps.
No, he's not going to get it. You know, the chances of Tommy getting help are very slim to none. And even the help he does get, it's going to be so small, it's not going to be enough to advance his life. Social programs are meant to sustain you for a little bit of time. They're not there to take care of you. And they're not going to do anything to advance your life.
And also, if they're doing hiring freezes, that means there's not going to be any promotions either, which means my hard work and dedication would not be taken into an account as far as that goes.
Well, that's my next point. The next thing they do is they do wage freezes. They're not making as much money, so they're going to make sure that they don't have to worry about giving up anymore. Wage freezes are, well, Tommy here, he works for such and such company, and he makes $8 an hour. Well, Tommy's been doing a really great job and has been working extra hard. But, one, they're going to say, well, no overtime for you, Tommy, because we just can't afford it. So, and actually, they could even do an hour freeze, meaning he can only work 30 hours as opposed to where he would normally work 35 to 40 because they need to cut back on hours. And plus, Tommy's been working his butt off, but they're not going to give him a raise. Maybe at the end of the year they'll give him his typical 3%. But that doesn't really speak to his work ethic. So when you tax the rich more, they're going to freeze your wages, and then you're not going to be able to advance your life more. The next and my final point is insurance, folks. Insurance, everybody complains that they don't have insurance. Well, regulations is a very large part of the reason why insurance costs so much. That's a different discussion. But a lot of companies, and I've worked for many companies, where they pretty much cover nearly half of your insurance. And that's a lot of money. That goes into your hourly wage. That basically, you could include that into your hourly wage.
Into your income.
Into your income. And when a company pays for your insurance, or when business gets slow, or you tax them more money, well, Tommy might get insurance because he's been with the company and he might already have it, but anybody coming into the company, they're going to stop paying insurance.
Or they can cut the insurance.
Or they can cut. And if they choose to cut, then Tommy's out of luck. Insurance goes against, they take that out of their bottom line. They could offer nobody insurance and put that in their own pocket, but they choose to do that because they want to take care of you. I'm not talking about large corporations like Walmart who continually undervalue their employees. I'm talking about small business. The one thing that drives
and there's no
the
benefit
economy.
For the company to give you insurance.
No.
It's not like they get a tax break. It's not like there's any incentive to do it for you.
They do that because they care about their employees. But they also have a family to care about as well. So when you start taxing them more money, that cuts into they're going to take care of them before they take care of you. And so this kind of concludes my my discussion here about taxing the rich more. They already pay their fair share, believe it or not. They pay upwards of about 30+%, despite what their income tax says. And if you tax them more money, they're going to pass that down to you. Whether you work for the company or you buy products from the company, you are going to wind up paying the price and still being poor.
Exactly. And all in all, basically what it is when you raise the taxes on anybody, that's less money in the economy. I don't care how you want to slice it. Well, it goes back because of welfare, and it goes back because of this. It goes because... No, 25% of it's going to go to blowing up brown people overseas, right? And then the rest is going to go to congressional salaries, their insurance, and then every now and then they might build you a road or a freaking bridge to make you shut up. But taxes on your income are ridiculous in the first place.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Because it's your income. That's basically like if you went outside and you decided to grow some tomatoes, they come by every year and take about a third of your tomatoes away from you because they were all like, well, you produced that and we have to tax your production, which doesn't make any sense. And my theory, right, and I would love to see no tax whatsoever, but my theory is you figure out exactly how much money it's going to take to just run the government. Not the wars, not their programs, not the social programs, none of that. Just to get the government through the
capitalism.
year, right through the year, everybody pays exactly the same amount across the board. Then what you have is just one national sales tax. And it can be pretty high. I don't care if it was in upwards of 20% sales tax. Because when a poor person buys a car, they buy a used car for about $5,000. Right? And then, then you have a sales tax of 20% on that. You're going to be paying somewhere around $6,000 to $7,000. But when a rich person buys a car, they buy the Lexus or the Ferrari, or they buy an expensive car, which is upwards of $20,000 to $50,000, which they're going to be paying 20% tax on. And then that money goes to your social programs and your military and your stuff like that. And I think that makes the most sense for a step towards no taxes whatsoever.
But in the immediate reality is stop arguing about the rich paying more taxes. Or if you run across somebody who wants to argue that they should pay more taxes, just...
Here's my thing. You want to raise the taxes on the rich? You think that the government has a claim on what you make? Then stop keeping money. Just go right up to your representative and say, here's my paycheck. Take care of me. because that's what the argument is, and is that the money belongs to the government. It doesn't. It belongs to you, because money is a representation of your labor, and that labor, the government did not help you work. Okay, they didn't help you cook your burgers at your job, or help you find clients for your advertising company. They did not help us film this show, except by giving us, material. But
Now, well, let me intervene, because it goes to speak for everybody across the board. You could say, well, the poor person's labor. Well, guess what? That middle class business, I mean, not middle class, that small business with that person making $250,000 a year, they earn that. They earn it. They work their heart out to build that.
I've only worked for small businesses and small franchise owners dang near my entire life. And I've managed lots of their jobs. And I would feel bad for them. Even though I wasn't making anywhere near what they were making, I felt bad for them, because I saw through their numbers how big of a chunk the government was taking from their pay. And, I mean, when you factor in their rent and their electricity and their payroll, and then their buying of supplies, and then they got to pay sales tax, payroll tax, they got to, and then the income tax, they pay 7 to 8 taxes before they ever get their money. And it's sad. It's just sad. But you know what? Just go ahead and keep taxing them, put them out of business, and make sure none of us have jobs.
Or keep taxing them until your pocketbook hurts, because you can't afford to go there anymore. It affects everybody.
It's a dynamic society, and we need to stop thinking that there's people that are not affected by our own actions. Everybody's affected by our actions. It's the butterfly effect. So, stop it.
And that concludes segment 7 of the Journalistic Revolution for this week, folks. Just want to thank you for watching our videos, and live free now.
I gotta get myself out of this town, and I don't know where I'm going, where I'm gonna be found. This time's for sure. I gotta get up, get out, and get down. This I know. I'm sick of waiting lately, laying around.